There's something within you that others can feel the instant you walk into a room, a rare aura that only true empaths carry. And Carl Jung's lesser-known research explains why this invisible energy makes you both magnetic and deeply vulnerable. Jung found that genuine empaths don't merely sense emotions. They emit what he described as the wounded healer frequency, an energetic signature born from pain yet transmuted into immense strength. This aura isn't the result of innate goodness. It's the outcome of a kind of psychological alchemy few ever reach. In his private writings, Jung described how this rare empathic field functions on multiple levels at once. It can heal others simply through presence, yet it also attracts both light and shadow, forces that can either uplift or destroy the empath who bears it. The most startling discovery Jung made was that this very aura turns dangerous when empaths fail to understand its real essence. Without self-awareness, it becomes a beacon for energetic predators, draining the empath while slowly consuming them from within. Join me as we explore Jung's most profound revelations about this invisible field surrounding true empaths, and why recognizing it is what separates the wounded healer from the sovereign one. Because here's what Jung uncovered that modern psychology still hesitates to admit. Your empathic aura isn't a gift you were simply born with. It's a psychological survival mechanism that evolved into something sacred through what I call traumatic alchemy. Jung once wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." But for empaths, becoming who you truly are begins with understanding why your nervous system developed such extraordinary sensitivity. It wasn't random, it was adaptive. From Jung's perspective on psychological development, empaths often arise from childhood environments where emotional survival required hypervigilance. You learned to read faces before you could read words. You became attuned to emotional danger because your safety relied on predicting the emotional climate around you. Yet here's what Jung recognized that most modern therapists overlook. This adaptation didn't just help you endure childhood trauma, it literally rewired your brain to function at frequencies most people can't perceive. Your mirror neurons became hyperactive. Your limbic system turned hyper-responsive. Your entire nervous system evolved into what might be called an emotional antenna. Modern neuroscience has validated much of what Jung intuited decades earlier. Dr. Elaine Aron's research on highly sensitive persons reveals that empaths process sensory information more deeply in brain regions tied to awareness, emotion, and empathy. But Jung went even further. He believed this neurological distinction generates an actual energetic field that others can feel. And yet, that's not the most remarkable part. What truly stands out in Jung's insight is his view that this empathic aura works like psychological radar. It doesn't simply receive energy, it transmutes it through unconscious alchemical processes. Jung noted that when empaths enter a space, they instinctively begin what I call energetic archaeology. They sense beneath the surface, uncovering emotional truths even those individuals hide from themselves. Your aura, Jung observed, reads the shadow material others carry. Here's how that process unfolds. Stage 1. The energetic scan. Your empathic field automatically tunes into what Jung called feeling tone complexes, the unconscious emotional patterns driving people's behavior. You perceive their unacknowledged grief, buried rage, and suppressed fear before they do. Stage 2. The unconscious absorption. Because your psyche developed permeability as a survival adaptation, you begin to absorb these emotional frequencies without conscious intent. Jung referred to this as participation mystique, the unconscious identification with others' psychological states. Stage 3. The alchemical process. This is where Jung's understanding becomes revolutionary. Your empathic nervous system doesn't merely take in emotional energy. It processes it through what he called the transcendent function. You unconsciously transform raw emotional content into wisdom, clarity, and healing potential. That's why others feel lighter in your presence, even if you've done nothing deliberate. Your aura has metabolized their shadow energy and reflected back a more integrated emotional truth. But Jung warned of something essential. This process only heals when done consciously. When empaths remain unaware of their alchemical nature, they stop being psychological alchemists and instead become emotional sponges. And this, Jung noted, is where the danger truly begins. Your rare empathic aura generates what Jung described as archetypal attraction patterns, powerful energetic dynamics that magnetically draw both healers and vampires toward you. Jung identified several archetypes that are unconsciously pulled into the orbit of an empathic field. The wounded child archetype, Those carrying unresolved childhood pain instinctively sense your ability to witness and hold deep emotion. They're drawn to you because your aura radiates the unconditional acceptance they've always longed for. The shadow projector. Individuals who have disowned certain aspects of themselves unconsciously seek empaths to carry their rejected emotions. Your energy field becomes the container for what they refuse to feel. The energy vampire. Jung described these as psychological parasites, people whose empathic development was arrested early in life. Deprived of authentic emotional connection, they've learned to survive by feeding on the emotional energy of others. But Jung also recognized that not all who are drawn to the empath's aura are draining. There are positive archetypes magnetized to it as well. The conscious seeker. Those actively doing their inner work recognize your energy as a mirror of their own evolution. They approach not to take, but to resonate and co-evolve. The authentic self. People ready to embrace their full humanity feel naturally pulled toward the permission your aura gives them to feel deeply, without guilt or shame. The danger, however, lies in what I call archetypal confusion, when empaths cannot discern who comes to heal and who comes to feed. Your aura attracts both. And without conscious clarity, you'll exhaust yourself trying to transform people who are not yet capable of transformation. If you've noticed that your life draws in both profoundly spiritual and profoundly troubled people, you're beginning to understand what Jung termed the wounded healer constellation, why your empathic aura holds the dual power to heal deeply and to be consumed completely. Jung explained that the wounded healer archetype operates through a process I call resonant frequency healing. Your aura doesn't heal others by giving away your energy. It heals through resonance, by vibrating at frequencies that activate the dormant healing potential within them. Energetically, here's what happens. When someone with unprocessed trauma encounters your empathic field, they experience what Jung described as constellation activation. Your presence awakens the healer archetype inside them because you embody the truth that pain can be transformed into wisdom. Yet Jung made a crucial observation about this phenomenon. The wounded healer can only catalyze healing in others to the degree that they've integrated their own shadow. When you carry unprocessed trauma, your aura becomes infused with what I call bleeding energy. Instead of inspiring growth, you unconsciously invite others to wound you in the very patterns you've yet to heal. This is why empaths often find themselves attracting narcissists, emotional vampires, or perpetual victims. Your unhealed wounds emit an energetic signature that pulls in people destined to replay your original trauma, until you fully integrate it. Jung wrote, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." For empaths, this means that everyone you attract reflects some hidden aspect of your own psyche. The people who drain you mirror how you deplete yourself. Those who can't receive your love reflect your own struggle to receive it from within. The alchemical resolution, Jung taught, lies in what he called conscious suffering, the willingness to face and feel your wounds completely, so they may transmute into wisdom rather than remain open portals others can exploit. When you do this inner work, your aura elevates from the wounded healer frequency to the sovereign healer frequency. You still carry profound empathy, but it's now rooted in wholeness rather than brokenness. Here's where Jung's insight becomes truly revolutionary. Your empathic aura serves as what he called the psychological mirror. It reflects back to others their own level of consciousness or unconsciousness. Jung observed that awakened individuals feel at peace around empaths because your aura mirrors their inner light. They experience what I call recognition resonance, the joy of being seen and accepted in their authenticity. But unconscious individuals often feel agitated in your presence. Your aura reflects their unacknowledged shadow, the parts of themselves they're desperate to avoid. This triggers what Jung called shadow projection anxiety. They may try to criticize, belittle, or even attack you to escape the discomfort of seeing themselves too clearly. This mirror effect explains why empaths evoke such extreme reactions. Some people are drawn to you like moths to light, others become inexplicably hostile or threatened. To illustrate this, consider two responses. The conscious mirror response. When someone doing their own inner work meets your empathic aura, they feel uplifted. They might say, "I feel so calm around you," or "You remind me of who I really am." These people energize you because the connection is reciprocal. They reflect your light back to you. The unconscious mirror response. When someone still avoiding their shadow encounters your energy, they feel unsettled and defensive. They may mock your sensitivity, tell you you're too emotional, or provoke you to lower your vibration to match theirs. And this, Jung warned, is the point where every empath must decide whether to remain a mirror or become a sponge. These interactions exhaust you because their underlying aim is to pull you into unconsciousness, to make you carry what they refuse to face. The predatory mirror response. When energy vampires encounter your empathic aura, they immediately sense an opening. They recognize your natural capacity for emotional processing and instinctively seek to make you their emotional regulator. These are the people who constantly trauma dump, create endless drama, or position themselves as helpless victims in need of your ongoing rescue. Understanding this mirror effect is essential because it reveals why setting boundaries can feel so unnatural for empaths. When you establish boundaries with unconscious individuals, you're not merely protecting your energy, you're denying them the ability to avoid their own shadow work. And here lies Jung's most profound realization about the empathic aura. You're not just processing individual emotions, you're attuned to what he called the collective unconscious, the shared psychic field that holds all of humanity's emotions, memories, fears, and desires. Jung discovered that empaths function as what I call collective antennas. You unconsciously tune into emotional frequencies not only from individuals but from entire communities, nations, and even the global psyche. This is why you might feel waves of sadness during world tragedies, anxiety during times of social upheaval, or fatigue in crowded spaces filled with unresolved emotional tension. Your empathic field literally registers archetypal energies that transcend personal psychology. You're sensing the collective shadow, humanity's buried trauma, suppressed emotions, and disowned aspects of consciousness. This connection to the collective unconscious is both your greatest blessing and your greatest burden. On one side, it grants you access to universal wisdom, archetypal insight, and the ability to participate in collective healing. On the other, it can flood you with emotional material that isn't yours but feels just as vivid. Jung believed that empaths play a crucial role in the evolution of human consciousness because they feel what others have numbed themselves against. You serve as an early warning system for the world's unprocessed pain, sensing collective shadow eruptions before they surface as wars, crises, or environmental disasters. But Jung also cautioned that empaths must learn to distinguish between personal and collective emotion, or they risk what he termed psychic inflation, taking on the illusion of responsibility for healing humanity's pain as a whole. If you've ever felt deeply affected by global events or overwhelmed by emotions that clearly weren't your own, you're experiencing exactly what Jung described. You could say, "I feel the world's pain." To help empaths shift from vulnerability to sovereignty, Jung's teachings can be distilled into what I call the aura method, derived from his principles of individuation, the process of becoming whole. Acknowledge your energetic nature. Jung emphasized that you cannot integrate what you do not recognize. Many empaths move through life unaware that they operate with heightened neurological and energetic sensitivity. Begin by accepting that your empathy isn't purely emotional, it's energetic. You absorb and process information through subtle channels others can't perceive. This is not weakness. It's a sophisticated form of awareness that Jung described as differentiated perception. Track your energy fluctuations throughout the day. Notice which environments, people, and experiences energize you, and which deplete you. Jung referred to this as energy accounting, consciously recognizing where your empathic resources are being invested or drained. You understand your archetypal patterns. Jung taught that everyone operates through archetypal dynamics, but empaths are especially vulnerable to what I call caretaker complexes, unconscious patterns that tie your worth to your ability to heal others. Reflect on your own tendencies. Do you feel guilty when you aren't helping someone? Attracted to those who need saving? Responsible for others' emotions? These are signals that your empathy is being driven by unconscious programming rather than choice. Jung's antidote was active imagination, a practice of consciously dialoguing with these internal archetypes to uncover their origins and transform how they express through you. Reclaim your energetic boundaries. Jung understood that healthy boundaries aren't rigid walls. They're conscious membranes, filters that allow love to flow in while keeping manipulation out. For empaths, boundary work must happen on an energetic level, not just behavioral. This means learning to sense when your field is being infiltrated or drained, and cultivating rituals to restore your integrity. Jung spoke of psychological hygiene, practices that cleanse the psyche of absorbed energies and reconnect you to your authentic vibration. This might include meditation, time in nature, journaling, movement, or any creative act that reminds you of who you are beneath the emotions you've absorbed. Activate conscious empathy. Jung's ultimate vision was what he called conscious empathy, the capacity to feel with others, not for them. To remain open-hearted without dissolving into another's pain. This is the evolution from emotional fusion to emotional sovereignty, where empathy becomes not a burden, but a bridge to higher awareness. This is empathy that serves consciousness rather than unconscious compulsions. Conscious empathy means you choose when and how to engage your empathic gifts, instead of being at their mercy. It allows you to witness suffering without absorbing it, to offer a healing presence without depleting yourself. Achieving this level of empathic mastery requires what Jung called the transcendent function, the ability to hold opposites in awareness. You can be compassionate yet boundaried, open yet protected, sensitive yet strong. When you integrate Jung's principles, something remarkable occurs. Your empathic aura shifts from what I call wounded healer frequency to sovereign healer frequency. Jung observed this transformation in his most advanced patients. The sovereign empath retains all the perceptual gifts of the wounded healer, but now these gifts operate through conscious choice instead of unconscious compulsion. The energetic shift. Your aura becomes more radiant while also more contained. Rather than leaking energy indiscriminately, you radiate what Jung described as integrated wholeness, an energetic signature that encourages others to do their own inner work rather than rely on you to process their emotions. People still sense your empathic abilities, but now they experience what I call empowering resonance instead of enabling resonance. Your presence awakens their healing potential rather than creating dependence on your emotional labor. The attraction pattern changes. Jung noted that sovereign empaths draw an entirely different archetypal constellation. Energy vampires and emotional parasites naturally fall away because your aura no longer signals vulnerability for exploitation. Instead, you attract what Jung called individuated souls, those who have done their shadow work and can meet you at your level of consciousness. These relationships are mutually nourishing, as both parties contribute to the energetic exchange rather than one side giving endlessly. Effortless healing. Jung observed that sovereign empaths often catalyze healing simply through presence, without conscious effort or energy expenditure. Your integrated aura becomes what I call a healing field, naturally activating growth in others. This occurs because you are no longer healing from wounds, but from wholeness. Your aura models the integration of pain into wisdom, sensitivity into strength, and wounds into gifts. Jung believed empaths play a crucial role in the collective individuation process, humanity's evolution toward greater consciousness and integration. Your rare empathic aura isn't merely a personal gift, it's a collective necessity. In a world where many have become disconnected from their emotional truth, empaths act as what I call consciousness bridges, helping others remember their capacity for authentic feeling. However, Jung warned against the savior complex, the unconscious belief that you are responsible for healing everyone. This mindset hinders collective healing by fostering dependence rather than empowerment. The true mission of empaths is to model conscious feeling, the ability to experience emotions deeply while remaining grounded in your own center. Witnessing this in your aura gives others permission to access their own emotional depth without losing themselves. The ripple effect. Jung observed that when one person in a family or community achieves empathic sovereignty, it generates what I call consciousness ripples, influencing everyone around them. Your integrated aura encourages others to stop numbing their emotions and begin processing them consciously. Collective healing unfolds not through one person absorbing all pain, but through conscious individuals modeling that full feeling and wholeness are possible. The evolutionary role. Jung considered empaths an evolutionary advancement in human consciousness. Your capacity to process emotions at sophisticated levels prepares humanity for what he called the next stage of psychological development. As more empaths wield their gifts consciously, we approach Jung's vision of a conscious collective, a humanity capable of feeling deeply, processing shadow material, and integrating wholeness on a species level. Jung's ultimate insight about the rare empathic aura is that it is not meant to be a burden, but a gift you consciously choose to share. He wrote, "Your vision becomes clear when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens." For empaths, this awakening means recognizing that your aura reflects your inner wholeness, not your wounds. When the journey from wounded healer to sovereign healer is complete, your empathic gifts become, in Jung's words, a blessing rather than a curse. You can feel deeply without drowning, love fully without losing yourself, and heal others without depleting your own life force. This transformation demands what Jung considered the most courageous act: authenticity in a world that often punishes it. Your rare aura shines brightest when you stop hiding your gifts to make others comfortable and start embodying them as expressions of your truth. The sovereign empath doesn't diminish sensitivity, they radiate it consciously. They don't dim their light, they learn to shine strategically. They don't apologize for their depth, they use it to cultivate more depth in the world. If you are ready to transform your empathic wounds into sovereign wisdom, comment, "I choose conscious empathy." Jung developed specific techniques for what he called psychic hygiene, practices designed to protect and maintain the empathic aura while engaging with the world consciously. The energetic cleansing ritual. Jung emphasized daily practices to clear absorbed energies and return to your authentic frequency. This could include meditation, journaling, time in nature, or creative expression. Any activity that helps you distinguish your energy from that of others. Consistency is key. Jung recognized that empaths, like athletes, require regular maintenance. Your empathic gifts are refined instruments that demand conscious care. The Conscious Boundary Protocol. Jung taught what I call energetic aikido, the ability to redirect projections from others without absorbing them. When someone attempts to make you responsible for their emotions, you can acknowledge their pain without taking it on. This requires what Jung termed conscious compassion, feeling with others while remaining centered in your own truth. You witness struggle without being consumed by it. The archetypal shield technique. Jung discovered that empaths can intentionally invoke protective archetypes when confronted with energy vampires or unconscious projections. You might call upon the warrior for strength, the wise elder for discernment, or the sovereign for unshakable centeredness. These aren't imaginary exercises. They are ways to access different facets of your consciousness capable of handling challenging energetic situations. Jung's final insight about empathic auras was both simple and profound. The goal isn't to eliminate sensitivity, but to make it conscious. When you truly understand your empathic nature, as Jung did, you stop seeing it as a problem and start seeing it as a gift to refine. Your aura becomes a tool of consciousness rather than a source of suffering. Transformation is complete when you can enter any space, feel everything occurring energetically, and consciously choose your response. You are no longer at the mercy of your empathic gifts. You are their master. This doesn't make you cold or distant. In fact, conscious empathy is far more powerful than unconscious empathy because it serves love rather than fear, choice rather than compulsion, consciousness rather than reaction. Jung believed that empaths who reach this level of integration become wounded healers who have been healed, guides who can lead others through transformation because they have walked the path themselves. Your rare aura, when consciously embodied, becomes a beacon showing others that it is possible to feel deeply and remain whole, to love fully while maintaining boundaries, to serve others while honoring yourself. Remember Jung's hidden truth about the rare aura of true empaths. It isn't rare because few people have empathic abilities, but because few empaths learn to wield them consciously. Jung wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." For empaths, this means transforming wounds into wisdom, sensitivity into sovereignty, and empathy into a conscious choice rather than an unconscious compulsion. Your empathic aura was forged in the fires of early experience, shaped by survival, and refined through every act of healing you've offered to others. It reaches its full radiance only when you first learn to heal yourself. Jung understood that the wounded healer is just the beginning of the empathic journey. The true completion is the sovereign healer, someone who can feel the full spectrum of human emotion while remaining centered in their own truth. Your aura is rare not because you are broken, but because you have transformed brokenness into beauty. Not because you are weak, but because you have cultivated strength capable of holding the intensity of human experience. Not because you are meant to carry everyone's pain, but because you have learned to alchemize it into wisdom. The world needs empaths who understand their gifts as Jung did, not as burdens to endure, but as sacred abilities to consciously direct, not as wounds that define you, but as tools that serve consciousness. When you embody your empathic nature with full awareness, you become a living bridge between the conscious and unconscious worlds, helping others access their capacity for authentic feeling while maintaining your energetic integrity. If you are ready to claim your empathic aura as the sacred gift it truly is, comment, "My sensitivity is my superpower." Your journey from wounded healer to sovereign healer is more than personal transformation. It is contribution to collective healing. Every empath who integrates their gifts makes it easier for others to do the same. Share this with someone who needs to see their empathic nature as a gift rather than a curse. And if you want to explore more about empathic sovereignty, check out my video, Why a fed-up empath is more dangerous than the narcissist ever imagined, where I reveal what happens when empaths fully reclaim their power. Subscribe. We are only beginning to explore the depths of empathic mastery. Remember, your sensitivity isn't too much, your empathy isn't weakness, and your rare aura isn't a burden. It is a bridge to consciousness that the world desperately needs. Thank you for watching. See you in the next dimension.